Hi there, I am Manpreet and I make book related videos on this channel. In today's video, I am going to tell you about all the Amitav Ghosh books written so far. This video is a part of an ongoing series on this channel called the Author Series, through which I have attempted to highlight famous Indian authors. In each episode of this series, I take up an Indian author and talk about their books. It gives you an idea about the kind of books an author writes and generally a very good idea about the subject of various works by the authors. So without further ado, let's get started with this video. I hope you subscribe to my channel right now and turn your notifications on so that you can catch my future videos in this series and also my future videos about books. So let's talk about Amitav Ghosh, one of the most famous authors of India. He has won several awards. Most of his books are international and national award winning. And the author himself has also been honored with one of the most prestigious Indian awards called the Padma Shri. Most of the books written by Amitav Ghosh have historical settings. I will begin talking about his books right from his debut novel, The Circle of Reason. Published in 1986, the book follows an orphan and his journey throughout the years and continents. This person's father enlists him into the army, and then he is suspected of terrorism, and then he is on the run, and that's how the story starts. The Circle of Reason by Amitav Ghosh has both historical elements as well as some mythological elements. The second fiction novel by Amitav Ghosh was The Shadow Line. It is a funny and moving story discussing several historical events like World War II, Swadeshi movement, India-Pakistan partition, riots in 63-64 in Dhaka. Basically, this book follows a young boy and you get to know the whole story and all these things through his memories and through the tales of people around him. The third fiction novel by Amitav Ghosh was The Calcutta Chromosome, which is a medical thriller. And like almost all the works of Amitav Ghosh, has historical elements in it. The book is literally about a person trying to find more about the Calcutta chromosome. It has a very complex plot and very deliberately mixed timelines and is loosely based on the life of Sir Ronald Ross. He was this real life scientist who achieved a major breakthrough in the malaria research. His fourth book is The Glass Palace, which is again a historical fiction novel. And just like most of his works, it's set in different places, including Burma, now Myanmar, India, Bengal, and Malaya. Through the stories of a few privileged families, the author tries to convey and cover several events like the British invasion of Burma, the fall of Konbog dynasty, and other events through the World War II and the late 20th century. The author has brought forward various facets of the colonial period, the economic fall of Burma, the rise of timber and rubber plantation, and the effects of World War II. Fifth book of Amitav Ghosh was The Hungry Tide. The book is set in the Sundarbans, which are like a set of islands in the Bay of Bengal. And the book mainly follows the life of three people. One of them is a marine biologist who is trying to find a rare species of dolphin. There is this fisherman who is just drawn to this marine biologist. And then there is this businessman, also a translator to this marine biologist. Next, he has his Ibis trilogy, which has three books. And this trilogy has several plot developments and a lot of rich backstories and follows a lot of characters who all come together and take shelter in the Ibis while more crises fall upon them. And lastly is the latest release of the author, Gun Island, which is again a sort of historical fiction featuring again a lot of people from varied backgrounds. And this one is really about a man whose faith in the world and future is restored through a series of events. So all in all, when I talk about Amitav Ghosh books, there are 9 fiction novels and then there are non-fiction books. First is In an Antique Land, which is a sort of ethnography. It discusses, the life and culture of a certain society. The second non-fiction is Dancing in Cambodia and At Large in Burma. This one is a collection of essays, two long travel essays, and one small Cambodian piece. The third non-fiction is Countdown. So what it really is that in 1998, India tested its nuclear, weapons, and then Pakistan tested its nuclear weapons. And after that, Amitav Ghosh got to just visit certain places. Pokhran, he went to Kashmir, and in this book, he has put together an account of what he learned during this travel and about this subject. The next one is The Imam and the Indian. It is again a collection of essays, 7, 8 essays, I suppose. And these essays are basically an account of the author's experience in Egypt in 1980s. Fifth one is The Incendiary Circumstances. It's again a collection of short stories. Basically, Amitav Ghosh has compiled the first-hand accounts of people who have been through some catastrophic events. We're talking about different events, and the author, through his job as a journalist, got to interview a lot of those people, and he has just compiled all of those essays together in this one. And the last one is The Great Derangement, which is a book on climate change. The author has really tried to explain how complex climate change is and how it impacts people. So, yes, these are all the books that Amitav Ghosh has written, 9 fictions and 6 non-fictions. When I talk about Amitav Ghosh's writing, I would not recommend Amitav Ghosh for beginners. But looking at the kind of subjects he has covered, I'm definitely interested in picking up his books. You tell me what you think about his books. Have you read any? Or do you want to read any after watching this video? Just comment down below right now. And yes, that's it for today's video. I will be back with another author series video very soon. Till then, please make sure you subscribe, follow my channel, follow me on social media at Indian Booktuber on Instagram, and keep watching my videos. This is Manpi signing off. I'll be back with another video very soon.